Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's really great to be here this morning, and I hope that in a few years' time we will all look back on this event as the start of something really important, which, as the Women Without Borders slogan puts it, has changed the world. I wanted to thank Edith Schaffler, the founder and executive director of Women Without Borders, and her team for organising it and for asking us to be a part of the event. Women Without Borders is playing an absolutely vital role in helping families and individuals touched by extremism, and I pay tribute to you and all of your colleagues for everything you've done so far and for everything that you are going to do. It takes huge courage and commitment to confront uncomfortable issues, but ignoring them is not the answer. I wanted also, before I start with the rest of the speech, to thank Saleha Jaffer and Ruhama Sonson from Families Against Stress and Trauma, FAST, for being here today, and also to draw your attention to their campaign, Families Matter. You'll see a film about their work later. Their campaign, just to show you the strength of government support, was launched by our Home Secretary, Interior Minister, a few months ago. Both organisations are addressing one of the most significant issues facing communities all over Europe and beyond: the dangerous consequences of young people choosing to travel to Syria. Events in Syria have produced one of the world's most devastating humanitarian crises. Over 9 million people have been displaced, and many, including children, are suffering from the conflict. Hunger, lack of access to education and medical facilities have presented huge humanitarian challenges. The British government's response has also been significant. We've committed over £600 million to aid to alleviate this humanitarian crisis, which is going to provide essential supplies such as food, shelter, and medicine. Communities across the world have done their bit to send help to those affected in Syria. And as over 100 imams from across Muslim communities in the United Kingdom said recently, the best way that anybody can respond to the crisis in Syria is from the safety of their own home in their own country. But some people, as we've already heard, have chosen to respond differently, and that's why we are here today. I can understand, given the scale of the horrors that are going on, that many people want to do anything they can to help. In this spirit, some people have travelled to Syria in the genuine belief that they can make a difference. But the result of their actions and the effect on them, their families, and on the communities they are trying to support has often been negative, even destructive. Some, as we have heard, have died fighting. Others have been taken hostage and executed. Some have returned disillusioned, and a small proportion have returned radicalised, intending to carry out terrorist attacks in Europe and beyond. In the UK, we believe that discussion and campaigning is needed to stop people fighting, hence our support for FAST. But we also need better laws to protect our citizens. And so we've introduced a new counter-terrorism and security bill trying to deal with the impact of the at least 500 British citizens that we believe have travelled to Syria and Iraq, in order to protect them and their families and to take action to reduce the numbers who are going. These measures include seizing passports, exclusion orders, and enhanced aviation security powers. And I know that here in Austria, the government has been doing similar things in order to try and tackle the problem. We believe that all these measures are essential, but we also know that they must only be used where necessary. There are stringent safeguards, including legal thresholds and oversights, to make sure that nobody abuses these powers. We want to protect law-abiding citizens and keep the UK an open, free and tolerant nation. We know that the vast majority of the population support these aims, but it's only by working with the communities most affected that we will really have an impact. And as the mother of two now adult, at least that's what they claim, sons, I know that the best people to get the message across to these young men and women are their mothers. I can't begin to imagine what it feels like to learn that your son has been killed fighting in a foreign country. I can't begin to imagine what it's like to open a letter that says, "Mum, I've gone to Syria to fight." But it's also true that even when our sons and daughters don't appear to be listening to us, and I know what that's like, headphones in the ears, doing three things at the same time, they do listen, and we are the people who can make a difference. And finally, I wanted to say that when we don't get the message across, because that happens too, it is even harder to decide whether to tell the authorities if we believe that something bad is happening. Brave women, some of them in this room, have done just that. They have put the safety and security of communities and their countries before their personal interest in protecting a family member. We should all be grateful for their efforts and commend them for their huge courage and sense of civic responsibility. I know that many of you here have suffered as a result of loved ones deciding to go to Syria. This workshop comes at an absolutely vital time, and I am sure that the discussions and the exchanges of information that you have over the next couple of days will help us all react in a positive and impactful way to what's going on. I encourage you to learn from each other, to form alliances, to support each other, and then to go out and take the message home. I want to thank you all for being here. You have all my support and all the support of the government that I represent, and I wish you every success. Thank you so much for being here. And what I've heard today will stay with me for an awfully long time. Thank you.